Hey there, I want to talk real quick about solving every password manager problem. So I'm Brian Sierakowski. I started a company called Team Password in 2012 as a password manager for Teams, and I ran it up until I sold it in 2020. And I was always really confused as to why it was so difficult to get new people to sign up. Whenever somebody signed up, they used the product basically forever, but I always found it just very difficult to talk someone into actually taking the leap and signing up and using the product. And in 2020, when I sold the product, I got some understanding as to why, because as soon as I sold the product, I handed all of my server keys over to the acquiring company, and now my data was on someone else's server, and I'm like, oh, I don't really necessarily feel so great about that. And so I feel like it just feels super risky to have someone else in control of your password information, regardless of the level of security of that other party, regardless of the benefits that you're getting. It feels bad to have your passwords in the custody of somebody else. I always felt super safe using Team Password. It was my servers. I could see the backups. I could console in and I could dig around if there's any sort of issues. And so I just had a ton of visibility and a ton of control. So I felt great. But as soon as it wasn't under my control, under somebody else's control, it didn't feel quite so good. So this was an aha. And then also sort of the latest push from 37 Signals around going back to the model of paying for software, hosting it yourself, running it. I realized that was the actual overall solution that we need to have password managers make sense. So specifically, how is what we're building different than what else is out there? So first off, it needs to be fast. Password managers right now are really slow. Did a little survey and it takes about 10 seconds to go from not being authenticated to being authenticated. And then even once you're authenticated, round trips can take 3 seconds to get access to passwords. And maybe I'm just kind of a nerd, but 3 seconds feels like a really long time when you are using the password manager every time you go to a new site. So all of the interactions will happen in less than a second in our product. The way that we're doing this is we're using modern web technology, and product's effectively self-hosted and it's on a dedicated server. So you're never going to have some other company taking up all the bandwidth so that you can't get to your passwords. The next thing is management. Basically, all of the password managers will require you to pay more to do things like user management and SSO. And the thing that it kind of sucks that it's sort of worth it with how much work it is to manage all the users signing up, making sure people get kicked out when they're supposed to get kicked out. Password managers charge, for a team of 30, it's between $3,000 and $4,000 a year to use the product. This to me should be built in from the ground up. It's in my opinion, a core feature of password manager, making sure that people who sign up have access to what they're supposed to, but also doing your security responsibilities that when people are kicked out, they don't have still access to your password manager. So we have a Google integration and we have a Microsoft integration right out the gate so that when someone signs up for your company, instantly into your password manager, and you don't need to do all this extra admin work on the top, and you don't need to spend thousands of dollars a year to get that. I've already talked about this a bunch, but this product is in your control. It's hosted in your data center or wherever you want it, actually. So you can set all the security up however you want. You can whitelist which IPs go in there. You can require people to VPN in. If you are physically in an office, you could install this in the office and make it only available in the office. Things that are either logistically difficult or impossible for cloud-based services to set up, you have total control over how and where and when people access the passwords that are in this product. And finally, there's one single price. So we're not charging you more based off of how many people you sign up. We're not charging you every single year. We are not arbitrarily increasing the prices. There's one single price that you pay. You own the software and you can modify it. You'll have access to the source code as well. You can do whatever you want with it. It's your software. So how much? And kind of also, what do you get? The price is $4.99, and that will include getting started guide. You'll get access to everything. You'll get access to the Docker container. And then, like I mentioned, you'll also be getting access to the source code. So you'll be able to modify the product, set it up however you want, put it on whatever server you think makes the most sense, and set up the product and customize it exactly to your specifications. If all of this sounds great, we have our pre-orders up now on hostedpassword.com. There will be two benefits to signing up. The first thing is that the earlier you sign up, the sooner you get it. So we'll do our deployments in order of who signs up first. And the second thing is that we have a pretty long backlog already. For example, I mentioned earlier, the Google integration and a Microsoft integration. Let's say your company uses Okta to manage your company directory. Well, we could do that too. That's totally possible. So signing up will not only get you earlier access, but it will also give you the ability to control what's on the roadmap as well. super excited about this. Obviously, it's the product that I want in the world and the product I kind of wish I would have built initially, but I didn't know at the time. So super excited to have you jump on board. If you have any questions, please reach out. And yeah, excited to work with everybody. Thanks.